Hey guys, very good afternoon to everyone. So, welcome to this seminar or a quick introduction to the US-CMA. I think most of you are aspiring professionals. I think this course is just exactly for you guys. For those who aspire to climb the corporate financial world, I think US-CMA is best suited for those people. It is a very aspirational course, and many the demand for the US-CMA has been growing by the year. I have seen the profession grow multiple times in last 15, close to 20 years, in fact, that I have been in the profession. So let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Prasad Kulkarni. I'm a chartered accountant and a US CPA. I'm been associated with EduPristine for last close to 7 years. Been in the industry for last 16 plus years now. 16 plus 7 years is my work ex. Have been doing quite a few gigs with students across different spectrum in the financial world, right from the uh, bachelor's degree to post graduation to CPA, CMA, and so on and so forth. So I've been a visiting faculty in multiple institutions across Pune actually. So let me quickly take you through what US-CMA is and uh, give you a glimpse of the demand, supply, the opportunities, the paper structure, the career-wise growth, etc. for US-CMA. So CMA, I mean, it is conducted by Institute of Management Accountants, a US body. Uh, is the highest level of certification in management accounting that acts as a global passport for accountants and finance professionals, awarded by the Institute of Management Accountants, IMA, USA. So IMA has more than 140,000 members in 150 plus countries and 300 chapters. So virtually it is present in across the entire globe. I think there would be hardly any countries which might not have a representation by CMA. And it is growing. I mean, if though there are any countries which do not have, then I think there is still a great opportunity for people to do CMA because the growth for CMAs is very high. So most of the developing countries, the demand for US CMAs is certainly very high, but including the underdeveloped countries, there is a lot of opportunity which lies there right now. So CMA is a subject matter expert. He understands how to run a business and make critical strategic decisions that help the organization succeed. I think every organization needs a very sound, a very solid financial acumen, a person who has an understanding of compliances, laws, uh, the jargons in finance, the ability to think through multiple layers of decision making, and also foresee what could lie further because of a certain decision taken today. I think a CMA is best equipped with all these skills. And because of the subject matter expertise, he would always be in the reckoning uh, to provide advice for the growth of the organization. So yes, US CMA certification benefits. It is an international recognition across the world. This certification is immensely respected, okay, because of the sheer body of knowledge that IMA or CMA course provides to the professional students. It is the highest level of certification in management accounting. It's at the pinnacle. I mean, all other courses might be somewhere below this course, but this is the highest level of certification in management accounting. Management accounting, earlier it was known as cost accounting, but now it's because management accounting, everything is related to management. I take a decision, what impact will it have on the financial, what impact it will have on the people. It's not just related, or it is not just related to finance, but it is for multiple layers within the organization, multiple periods also. So every decision that is taken by the management, it needs to be thought through in great detail. Okay, with increasing globalization, foreign direct investments, outsourcing, offshoring, US financial service MNCs in India and Indian companies listed in the US, CMAs with an international perspective are in very, very high demand. As I mentioned, I have seen the profession grow leaps and bounds in the last 15, 17 years that I have been in the profession. Various countries where CMA was in very nascent stages then, even in India for that matter, I think the demand for CMAs is exponentially high. And last 10, 15 years, we have seen a tremendous growth in the demand for US CMAs. I visit Middle East quite frequently, and I see most of the organizations over there, they also keep demanding US CMAs or people who have a solid management accounting qualification, and CMA is considered to be the most appropriate for this kind of work. CMAs are trained to be strategic and forward thinking partners in business. Okay, so it is not just about doing the financial aspects of the organization, but it is also about thinking what could happen in the future. A decision taken today, it could be a capital budgeting decision, or it could be a pricing decision, or it could be a budgeting related aspect. I think you as a CMA should be able to think through as to what are the other probabilities, what are the different dimensions of a decision taken today. How can that be executed in the future? What would be the repercussions of that execution in the future? What would happen if it is not done? So you also have to think, you have to be a devil's advocate as well, and you also have to be you also have to think with a lot of other probabilities taken into consideration. So the CMAs are trained to be strategic, okay, and forward-thinking partners in the business. They are no longer just employees, or they are no longer just executives in the organization, but they are business partners. They partner with the management of the organization to take very sound, very able decisions, so that the management takes informed decisions, not just decisions in haste, informed decisions with different probabilities in place. The job of the CMA is to analyze the data and gauge if the decision can affect the financial status of the company positively. So every decision that a management takes should have a positive impact on the organization, and not just the organization today, but also in the future. A capital budgeting decision is the most suitable example. You take a wrong decision, turning around that decision overnight is impossible to do. Okay, so whenever you take a capital budgeting decisions, you have to think about several probabilities, because the capital outlay would be tremendously high. And once you commit the capital, once you commit the machinery, once you commit for various other infrastructure needs of the organization, and if things do not work out, then it could be a complete disarray as far as the decision making is concerned. So to avoid such blips in the future, every decision has to be backed by a very solid and very sound financial acumen, financial decision making, and a thorough knowledge of what is being done and what is expected to be done in the future, so that the organization will have a better prospect, a good potential in the future. Career opportunities for US CMAs can be in multinational companies, financial servicing, or consulting firms, and US-based firms and organizations. I mean, nowadays every organization needs a very good financial finance guy. Okay, so these are just some of the examples. Multinational corporations, of course, these are pretty obvious, but there are a lot of other organizations who are inducting. I have worked with quite a few NGOs, and I see quite a few NGOs with very good CMAs working over there. So this is a very good sign for people. We are at the right place at the right time, I believe, so that the profession is at the cusp of growth. And given the past 2-3 years of our life, for our humanity, I think we are getting into phase uh, of growth, of opportunities, and I think we need to capture those with both our hands, provided we have the right kind of qualification under our belt. So what are CMAs doing in the industry? They are chief executive officers. They can be CFOs. They can be finance controllers, directors, financial analysts, so on and so forth. I mean, CMA carves out a place for himself. So there are specific positions, specific roles, specific activities which are conducted exclusively, or they are carved out exclusively for CMAs. No matter what, a CMA's job would be, I won't say assured as such, but he has an assured job for sure. Now, how do he perform in that job? entirely on his. But he will have all the skills, he will have all the um, tools for his and his organization's growth. So they can be financial analysts, finance managers, budget analysts, cost accountants, treasurer, business, and so on and so forth. So there is not just one avenue that is available to him. There are multiple avenues which he can explore, exploit, and benefit from. Indicative salary, I think I don't want to overemphasize. CMA would be earning pretty high, very good amount of salaries as compared to other professions. Okay, so these are some of the examples which are mentioned over here. For a relationship manager, which would be at the beginning of a career of his career, 4 to 8 lakh salary benchmark is a very neat one for just 1-2 years of experience. The cost accountant can earn 6 to 10 lakhs. In fact, I have seen people earning more than that as well. Risk manager 11 to 20 lakhs. I have seen even more than that. But this is just an average band that is being provided, just an indicative band. For those who are exceptional, will be earning even much higher. And a CMA, by virtue of being a subject matter expert, by virtue of being a strategic thinker, I think he would command a very good salary. The only thing is he needs to go there and perform. Financial controller can be anywhere in the range of 20 to 40 lakhs. A CFO anywhere in the range of 40 to 80 lakhs. And these are mid-sized companies or not big public limited companies also. A public limited company would be paying at least 5-7 times the salary mentioned over here. But provided, of course, you have to go through that journey in an organic way only. So uh, the compensation wise, CMAs would be supremely benefited. Employers for CMAs: Standard Chartered, Barclays, KPMG, Oracle, Accenture, Morgan Stanley, Ernst & Young, Amazon, IBM, Deloitte. I mean, there are several such. I mean, go to LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn Jobs, go to what is it called, Monster Jobs, or watch any job site for that matter, and see, search for yourself what is a CMA, the demand for CMA. Just type in CMA and see it for yourself. What, I mean, they will mention what are the roles, what are the experience levels, what are the expected compensation levels, so on and so forth. So you will get to know, you will have a glimpse of what a CMA can really do and what are the opportunities that are available to a CMA firsthand. So US-CMA exam structure, there are two parts. One is the financial planning, performance and analytics, which is more into not just the basics, it is more into the uh, creating a framework for financial or management accounting and strategic financial management. How do we use that base that is created, be it standard costing, be it overhead costing, be it allocation rates, be it planning, budgeting, forecasting? How do that get implemented? How do we take it for the organization benefits through strategic financial management? So these are the two parts. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Typically, will need 6 to 8 months of dedicated timeline studies, and we should be through with the CMA exam. So let me just go through part one of financial planning, performance, and analytics. There are these 6 chapters: external financial reporting with 15% allocation, planning, budgeting, and forecasting with 20%, performance management, the most important topic in this chapter. There are three chapters which I'm going to mention as the most important. The first important topic is performance management, which deals exclusively with standard costing and other aspects of performance management. We'll talk about it later. Then cost management, 15% allocation. Internal controls, predominantly a theoretical topic, but needs a lot of focus with 15% allocation. Technology and analytics with 15%. Again, typically a theoretical subject, 15% allocation. In part two, which is called as strategic financial management, the first chapter is financial statement analysis. We'll talk about the ratios, the ratio analysis, the vertical, horizontal financial statement. We'll talk about cash flows, the definitions of each of the component, their placement over there, etc. Which has a 20% allocation. Corporate finance will cover about 20%. Decisions analysis, 25%. This is the second most important topic from costing or management accounting point of view. We'll talk about pricing decisions, marginal costing, or marginal analysis, or also called as CVP, cost volume profit analysis, etc. Then the risk management, 10%. Investment decision, the third most important topic. Again, this is my perception or my way of looking at it. Although it has only 10% coverage, the investment decision topic will have a lot of linkages in other topics also. It is related to management decisions, long-term decisions, or also called as capital investment decisions. Okay, we'll talk about different tools for doing investments. Now, this topic, investment decision and corporate finance, are hand in glove with each other. They are very closely related to each other. One talks about raising finances for short term as well as long term. The coverage is more on long term finance as far as corporate finance is concerned. And investment decisions is about allocation of that investment, allocation of that funds that are raised for captive decisions. Okay, for captive activities. We'll talk about that. And the last topic is professional ethics, very important from the profession point of view and from individual CMA point of view. For the organization, so there are some compliances with respect to ethics. And for CMAs, qualified CMAs, also there are some ethical consideration that we need to be aware of. So the duration of both these chapters, both these subjects are 4 hours, 100 MCQ and 30-minute essay quest. Passing score is about 360 out of 500 marks. So, which is pretty much, we should be focused entirely on getting those MCQs right and getting those essay questions right. And we should not even think about the next attempt. Do it right the first time. Simple strategies, writing notes, etc. I think, and doing the MCQs from Baker's study module, etc., will help us pass that 360 line pretty easily. So there is no negative marking, so no worries if you are unable to answer. We should be able to think about how should we answer questions, which we'll talk in a while. So the exam windows are January and February, May and June, September and October. So part 1 and part 2 can be taken in any order. So there is no requirement that you should do part 1 first and then part 2. You can flip it. You can do part 2 first and then part 1, whichever suits you, whichever suits your study time, whichever suits your schedule, etc. And whichever topics that you are comfortable with, you should go and appear for that exam first. Okay, part 1. So external financial reporting decision. This is all about financial statement. So we'll talk about right from the basics. I mean, we are not going to get into the debit and credits of anything, but we are going to start with how are financial statements, what are the definitions of financial statement, what are the components of financial statements, how do we recognize, measure and value each of the components that find a place on the financial statement, what is revenue, what is an expense, what is a cost, what is an investment, all these things, everything has a reason, how they are framed, how they are tabulated. I think there are those definitions, rules, and we are going to go through those rules, definitions, that framework in external financial reporting decisions. The second topic is planning, budgeting, and forecasting. We'll talk about strategic planning, forecasting techniques, budgeting methodologies, annual profit plan, and top-level planning and analysis. This also is a very important topic. As a CMA, this topic is going to be with you forever. I mean, not just, every organization have to be very strong in their planning, budgeting, and forecasting, short term, long term, medium term, and very long term also. All these plans are very predominantly important in all organizations, given the scenario, given the competition, given the cutthroat competition, in fact, and given the dynamics in the world of finance, in the world of business, in the global trade. I think you have to be bang on as far as planning, budgeting, and forecasting are concerned. So every organization, every CMA, in fact, should ensure that he masters these topics very well, because some things you should be able to foresee, and planning, budgeting, and forecasting helps you to understand the nuances and gives you the foresight of looking into what could happen. So from small tiny plans to a year-long plan to a multi-year budget, I think all these are very organic in nature. Now, if you see through a CMA goes through a budgeting exercise, he should be able to think what is happening now, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, so on and so forth. Not so short period, but you should be able to build that organic growth into your business plans. Inorganic growth also could be built, but you have to understand the how things collaborate and cooperate with each other. Okay, financial things I'm talking about. The third topic is performance management. As I mentioned, this is the most important topic from the CMA course. Cost and variance measures, responsibility centers, and reporting segments, and performance measure. We'll talk a great deal of, we'll spend good amount of time in learning the cost and variance measures. Okay, we'll talk about overheads, how overheads are bundled into baskets. Okay, what is fixed and what is floating or variable. Okay, we'll talk about all those baskets, how to arrive at overhead rate, how to do the allocation of overhead rates, how to do deal with the under allocation or over allocation of overhead rates on products, services, whatever. So we'll talk about how to arrive at overhead rates. Also, it's a very important topic, a part of this topic, which needs a thorough understanding. Standard costing is extremely important. You need to learn the material variances, price, volume. You need to learn the labor variances. You need to learn overhead variances, fixed, variable, volume, etc. You also need to learn the sales variances. All these things will help a CMA to think about what are the differences, what is causing the differences, and how to deal with those differences. Now, these are all a part of your, I mean, all this will flow from your planning, budgeting, and the actuals. Okay, once you start looking at what was the plan and what are the actuals, you will get a lot of insight. That variances will give you even further insights. Okay, and then it also will give you directions as to what are the things that you need to be done. They are variance analysis, in my opinion, is the stage where action needs to be initiated. A CMA or a management accountant, if he's not able to provide you, the organization, with the insights from the variance analysis about what action needs to be taken, then I think it may be disservice to the profession. But the CMA is very well equipped as to what are the variances and what are the things that needs to be done in the future in multiple layers. I think that is what a CMA actually would be able to do. So, for variance analysis, in my opinion, in quotes, it is the time to initiate action. The time to initiate action. They are for initiating action by the management. That's why we do variance analysis, and there is a lot of rigor and a lot of focus that needs to be given to this activity from an organization point of view also. We'll talk about segments and other performance measures also. Cost management, measurement concepts, costing systems, ABCA or job order or process costing, whatever. I mean, we'll talk about those different costing systems, talk about measurement costing, measurement concepts, how to measure a particular component, why should it be measured. So every component that goes into product manufacturing or service providing has to have, uh, uh, you should be able to measure. Okay, only if you are able to measure, you will be able to monitor what are the things that should go while measuring it. Okay, a glass, a bottle, for example. I mean, how do I measure the cost of the bottle? What are the things that should be associated or allocated to that to the cost of bottle? We'll talk about costing system. We'll talk about overhead cost, how to bundle those costs, um, supply chain management, and business process improvement. This chapter is all about, if you are not able to measure, you will not be able to monitor. If you are not able to monitor, you will not be able to improve. Period. So this structure. I mean, we should be able to understand what those parallels between all these chapters. If you're able to see those parallels, if you know what are the intersections, you will be able to get a holistic view of the chapter, the subject as well. Then internal controls, governance, corporate governance, risk and compliance, theory subject, but very important, because now, given the way in which businesses are conducted, physical association with records, etc., has almost diminished, because most of the records are automated, most of the data entry is automated, most of the financial reports are also automated. There are business intelligence aspects, but how to manage all these things, how to look into all those numbers, how to devise those systems, all these things require knowledge of internal controls. A CMA is most well equipped to understand where are the controls associated, essentially required in financial planning. Now, only if he understands those nuances, he will be able to manage the operations very effectively. System controls, security measures, so on and so, physical as well as logical security. Technology and analytics, information systems, data governance, technology enabled finance transformation, and recently added topic in the subject. Recently is not exactly very recent, but the most recently added topic. I mean, maybe 2-3 years ago, this was revised, and it's at the right time this was done, because, as I mentioned, the way in which businesses are conducted nowadays, we need a lot of information, we need a lot of insights into how technology works and how can technology enable finance transformation and data analytics be done. Many organizations from the US are setting up their offices here in India, either their costing systems or their payroll systems or their cost accounting systems or whatever. I mean, their revenue stream. The accounting, everything happens over here, but how do we do that, and how do we have good controls over those things using technology? I mean, the outsourcing, offshoring model of 2000 or so on, 2000, 2001, or that decade was entirely because of the technology that enabled that transformation. And even today, we continue to see the transformation happening on a daily basis. There are various companies who are exclusively doing only this kind of work. I mean, in India right now, there is huge potential for this kind of work. And there are companies from the US or various other countries which are offshoring their work, outsourcing their work, or they are getting it done very differently using technology. So this topic is also important from a management accountant point of view. The second chapter, the second subject is strategic financial management. Now, we had already looked at financial statement in the first chapter, okay, financial reporting decisions. The same financial systems, financial reports we are going to look at from a very different angle. We are going to look at the numbers. The numbers will give you some insights. When you associate those numbers with other numbers, they give you even further insights. When you associate those numbers across multiple statements, they give you a very different insights. So we are going to talk about multiple ratios, be it profitability ratios, be it turnover ratios, be it capital ratios, be it gearing ratios, so on and so forth. Each of those ratios will give you better insight. Now again, ratio analysis or statement analysis, profitability analysis, all these things are the entire costing or management accounting is to initiate certain actions. What are those actions? Each topic will provide you with good insights as to what is the action associated with, for example, say gearing ratios. Am I highly geared or under geared? Okay, leverages. Am I highly leveraged or under leveraged? So what are the things? I'm over capitalized, under capitalized. All these things will lead to decision making. All these actions will lead to initiating action, and that's what is important. Okay, how to improve that is what this entire subject all about. Okay, so financial statement analysis, financial ratios, and profitability analysis, these are this will provide you with only numbers may not be of great benefit, only ratios may also not be of great benefit, but when you associate numbers and ratios, they will give you a very different paradigm. Okay, and that's why we are supposed to learn financial ratios in great detail. This topic will remain with you forever. I mean, as long as you are in financial world, or even otherwise, if you're not in finance, this topic will give you great insights and help you in your own planning. Corporate finance, as I mentioned earlier, this is all about raising finance, risk and return, long-term financial management, working capital management, and international finance. So this is what are the different modes from which we can raise capital. Okay, so we are going to talk about multiple sources of long-term financial management. Whether then we know what the sources are. Now, how do we do a mix of those sources to reduce the cost of capital? My capital is the most expensive component on my financial statements. If I am spending a lot of money, or my cost for raising the capital is very high, or the cost of capital itself is very high, then I need to find out whether I should have a blend of debt or equity. Now, if debt or equity, what should be the blend of equity? Whether I should go for equity shares or variable rate shares or whatever. And there are different instruments in equity as well. And in debt, should I go for bank debts or debentures or bonds? Or so there are several instruments that you have to explore, and you have to find what is the cost of capital. After finding the cost of capital, whether it is above or below the benchmark, and then you take a decision as to whether I should really go. If my return rate of return on the project is 10%, and if my cost of capital itself is 15%, then it would be penny wise pound foolish, may not have any relevance, or may not be beneficial for you to raise that capital. So you have to find out from 15%, if I have to make the project profitable, I have to bring down my cost of capital from 15% to below 10%, or I have to increase my return ratio from 10% to more than 15%. I have to maybe use different combinations, bring down cost, increase the profitability, increase the return ratio, so on and so forth. So this is what corporate finance is all about. What are the different avenues where you can improve the cost or reduce the cost, and also help in increasing the returns. Cost reduction is automatically increasing the returns ratio. Okay, decision analysis. As I mentioned, this is the second most important topic, if I have to say. Cost, volume, profit analysis, marginal pricing, and pricing decision. We'll talk about different pricing methodologies. For every additional product, what is the cost, what is the return that I'm going to get, what is the contribution that every additional unit is going to give me. That contribution, whether it is sufficient for me to take care of my fixed expenses, okay, and I'm getting to a net profit ratio. Now having a debt component in my financial structure, how would that cost volume profit analysis give you a different insight? That all those things we are going to learn in decision analysis, marginal analysis, pricing decision. Should I go for, what are the different practices that are there in the industry? How should I do the pricing of products? Now, a small mistake on overhead allocation can lead to a chaos in pricing. Okay, because overhead allocation is something, overhead, for example, is something that cannot be exactly anticipated. Okay, and a small variation over there can lead to catastrophic results. So your overhead rate allocation, your abnormal losses, normal losses, all these things need to be extremely well designed. Okay, only then your pricing decisions can work beautifully, or they can lead to great chaos as well. Okay, so decision analysis is very important. Then enterprise risk identification, assessment, and mitigation. Okay, we'll talk about risk assessment also. What is enterprise risk management? How do I identify the risk? Okay, so on and so forth. Pretty theoretical subject. We'll talk about different models, also COVID, about enterprise risk identification. There is a model framework rather, which we have to study in great detail. Then is investment decisions, capital budgeting process. As I mentioned, it is the third most important topic. Now I have the capital. I need to find out ways and means of allocating that capital into good investment opportunities. Now I have the money, I have 100 rupees. Now I have five different opportunities. Should I take all the five opportunities, or should I take only one, two, three, four, five? Or should I take, it will also help you in providing guidance about which combination should you take, which are the must taken opportunities, and which are the must excluded opportunities. All these things will give you a great insight, and it will help you in increasing or improving your return ratios. Professional ethic, business ethical considerations for management accountants and the organization. So we'll talk about a theoretical topic, but very important from an individual point of view. There is a very thin line about that crosses ethics, what is right and what is wrong. That fine line is nothing but the ethical line. So you should be able to identify what is really right and what is technically, it might sound right but may not be ethically right. Okay, and vice versa. So we need to understand what those considerations are for management accountants and the organization. Okay, steps to become CMA. 4 steps apply to take the CMA exam. Submit your application for by paying IMA entrance and membership fee. So first is become a member of IMA as a student member or professional member. Pay the entrance fee and pay the professional fees, entrance and application fees to IMA. That is paid directly to IMA. Second step is to choose your exam review course provider. In my humble opinion, EduPristine and Baker combination is the best right now, and you should go for that combination. Create your own study plan. You decide what your study plan is, how your study plan should be. Now you should focus on the study plan and you have to hit your milestones. Okay, and make sure that you hit those milestones at the intervals that you have planned for. Don't spend too much time planning. Just plan it once and just keep executing, and that's the key. Okay, step 3 is schedule the exam. Once you select the testing window, Jan, Feb, March, April, whatever the windows are, pay the CMA exam fees. You have to pay the exam fees and schedule the exam with the prometry. And if you succeed, and it's not a question of if you succeed, and when you succeed, you take both the parts of the exam, submit 2 years of work experience in accounting, and you have a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university within 7 years of passing the exam. Once you have all these three things, you become a management accountant, CMA, okay, which is highly prestigious qualification certifications across the globe as far as management accounting is concerned. What is required to earn the CMA certification? Active membership of IMA, passing parts 1 and 2 of the CMA exams, any bachelor's degree from an accredited college, university, or a related professional certification, CA, ICWA, or ICSI, should be submitted. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Cost and Management Accountants of India, and Company Secretaries of India. 2 continuous years of professional experience in management accounting or financial management, which can be completed after passing the exam, but are required as a final step. So you will, to get the certification, these are the requirements. Okay, you have to get a bachelor's degree, pass 2 exams, and your work experience. If you have all these 3 criteria fulfilled, you become a CMA. Tick box, tick, tick, tick. Khada. Experience qualification. This is just for your knowledge. What really is experience as far as CMA is concerned? When many people actually ask, how do I give the experience certificate, you need to have relevant qualification and relevant experience. You cannot just have a part-time job and provide those. If you are in a part-time, then the requirements are doubled. Okay. So I'll just read this out for you. Candidates for CMA certification must complete 2 continuous years of professional experience in management accounting and or financial management. This requirement may be completed prior to or within 7 years of the examination. Teaching qualifies as related professional experience when it's full-time or at least 60% of the course load taught is accounting or finance above the principal's level over a 2-year period. Professional experience expected to be gained in full-time employment. However, continuous part-time positions of 20 hours per week, meeting the definition of qualified experience, will count towards this requirement at a rate of 1 year of experience for every 2 years of part-time employment. So these are some of the requirements which you need to be aware of. Let's go through this in great detail so that you are clear as to what are the requirements, okay, and what you should not be doing. Sample, this is that elusive which will, you can hang it on the wall sitting behind you. Okay, this is that certificate which will give you the CMA certification. Okay. EduPristine. EduPristine is a US-CMA training program, is a hands-on experiential curriculum that helps you clear the exams along with soft skill training and career services. What benefits you can get by joining EduPristine? 170 plus hours weekend classroom training with expert faculty of 1 year validity. 170 hours weekend live online training with expert faculty plus recording, 1 year validity. Live virtual recordings in students' LMS accounts. All the sessions that are conducted are also uploaded on the EduPristine learning module. Dedicated in-house support team for IMA registration and exam registration guidance. Career services, study materials from Baker USA. The soft skill training include business communication, interpersonal communication, time management, negotiation skill, presentation skill, email and virtual communication, decision making and problem solving. So you are going to be ready for your first interview or for your first job. All the things that you need, the CMA certification plus the abilities to communicate, the abilities to present yourself in very crystal clear manner during your interviews or maybe in your actual job. So that training also would be provided to you as a part of the course. EduPristine CMA in-house classes in India. Right now, fortunately, we have started the live classes also, which were on hold until just last month because of the pandemic. But that also has now, we have started, I think, in Chennai and Bangalore, if I'm not wrong. So these sessions have gone live. The other centers also will go live in next couple of maybe weeks or months. Okay. So the live sessions are conducted in Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Hyderabad, and Chennai. Baker. Now, what is Baker? Baker is a very global name as far as financial education is concerned, CMA especially. There are 1 million plus candidates who have prepared with Baker. Top 100 accounting firms relied on Baker for their staff exam preparation. So Baker Professional Education is a global leader in quality education, empowering people to advance their careers. We work in partnerships with our clients and students to give you the skills and knowledge you need to succeed and develop in today's business climate. Our flexible learning format can fit your lifestyle, schedule, and preferred way of learning. Okay. 24-month access to our 2-point review, digital textbooks, fantastic textbooks, I must say. 500 plus flashcards, which is massive number. In fact, I always urge students to start creating their own flashcards also as per their study schedule. So that those are very handy cards which can fit in your pocket, either digital cards or physical cards, which can fit in your pocket and steal the time from your busy work schedule, busy days, and make sure that you keep performing, you keep preparing. So always in that mode, if you have those flashcards on in your pocket. 3000 plus multiple choice question. Now for 2 subjects, 3000 multiple choice, which would be the highest number of MCQs provided by any service exam provider. 70 plus essay questions, lecture videos. So there are expert faculty from across the globe who also conduct those lectures, and those recordings are available to students on the Baker portal. Regularly updated content, adapt to you technology powered by Samala. So you can prepare you can schedule as to what are the topics that you want to cover first. So it's your study planning can be adapted as per your own specific or curated by yourself in your own way. Simulated exams, personalized review sessions, unlimited practice tests, success coaching and academic support, only online FAQ also are available. So introducing the new Baker CMA review, new content, okay, brand new textbooks, which are very fantastic layout, engaging layout, okay, multiple choice questions, easy questions, and simulated exam that mirror the exam. So you will Baker study material will leave no stone unturned to ensure that you get exposure to almost exam-like scenarios. Okay, all with quality you expect from Baker. Intuitive user experience. User Updated user experience based on Baker's highly acclaimed CPA preparation software platform. The new format provides an intuitive and user-friendly navigation. So it is very seamless. You are able to see how many times you have appeared for a particular question. It will also give you insight how much time you have taken to answer the question. What is the average time that you have taken to answer that same question multiple times? What is the passing rate? How many times you succeeded? How many times you failed? All these insights as you go along in the preparation that would be provided in the software itself. Industry leading instructors with decades of real world experience that can translate um, into real life application. This is the most comprehensive learning experience around. Personalized learning experience. No two people can learn the same way. That's why Baker utilizes adapt to you technology to constantly assess your knowledge as you prepare. So it will provide you with good insight in every stage of your preparation. How much time, how much right and wrong, what is your success rate, so on and so forth. All these things will be provided as you go along doing your preparation in the Baker modules. The fees for students, now there are these three, online and offline. Classroom until now was not work was because of pandemic it was not live, but now it has gone live in I think Mumbai and Chennai. So or Bangalore and Chennai. So these two locations are live now, so where you can actually physically attend the sessions. All other locations will also go live pretty soon. So for student, if you want to go for online sessions, the fees would be 1,22,000, which covers the coaching material fees, the IMA membership fees, the entrance fees, and the exam fees. So all bundle of 1,22,000. You want to go for a classroom, then it is 1,37,500. If you are a professional, for professional, the IMA membership and entrance fees are different. Okay, that's why there will be only that difference which will be there in the fees. So for students, for professionals, the fees would be for online courses 1,48,000 vis-a-vis 122,500 for student, and for classroom the fees would be 163,000 vis-a-vis 137,500 as compared to students. Okay, so exchange rate right now use is 75. There are special discounts which are given on the membership fee as well as the entrance fee. We in at EduPristine also will inform students about what are the different times when the discounts might be available. Also, there is forum, there is IMA website on which those discounts will be also announced. So most of the students actually avail those benefits, and there is a substantial benefit from 30 to 50% discount on the membership as well as the entrance fee. So you should take advantage of that as well. Delivery model. So training fees validity 1 year, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai, 6 to 7 months, Saturday, Sunday, 5 hours. And if you go for virtual classes, online, they are online, right? The way in which we are interacting right now, for 6 to 7 months, and Saturday, Sunday, 7 to 10 p.m. Okay. This is a soft skill training provided by EduPristine as a part of this course itself, so that you are very well prepared, not with just the subject matter expertise also, but also with the soft skills that are required to perform your job very effectively and efficiently. The preparedness, the comprehensive ability, the ability to interact with people with clarity. All these things would be taught to you in the soft skill training program. Proficiency in speaking, self-awareness of strengths and areas of management, ability to understand intent of communication within self as well, communicate one's thoughts with clarity, openness, and reason, understand the impact one has on others. skills, presentation, feedback, inquiry, critical questions. We talk about all these things in the soft skill training program, so which is very comprehensive, taken by some of the best faculties, uh, and it is highly recommended. You guidance and support by EduPristine. You can view the course structure, the course schedule, the details of the upcoming sessions, the required study material, and the recorded lectures for the attendance sessions in LMS. In case you have any doubts during the course, you can please raise your query on our forum, and a course expert will answer your query within 48 business hours. Get frequent seminar and webinar updates during and after the course. In case you face any kind of difficulties, the most important with respect to faculty, content, admin, or any other issue, you can please write an email to care@edupristine.com. These responses, this feedback from students are taken very seriously at EduPristine, and we leave no stone unturned to make sure that the students are made comfortable, they get what they deserve. Okay, and EduPristine point of view, it also continuously keeps improving based on the feedback provided by students. Placement assistance, I mean, you will get resume building, refine your work, CVs. You will be prepared for your interviews. What are the tools? What are the techniques? How to do a Q&A, group discussion, so on and so forth. And many, I mean, since there are so many students across the industry now, and plus companies also approach EduPristine for any placement related activities. Students of EduPristine are placed in multiple organizations across India and outside also. So that's also very handy when it comes to fresh students passing out. CMA expert faculty and their rating. So on an average, 4.66 on a scale of 5, which is mighty high. And that's what I said. The feedback of students about the faculty are very, very vital in the success of the CMA and CPA or other courses as conducted by EduPristine. Now, these feedbacks are taken with utmost rigor, no exaggeration over here. We leave no stone unturned to ensure that the students understand, get the subject matter right, and their feedback is actioned immediately. Okay, so faculty are top, and we also ensure that the faculties that come to teach you are well experienced, extremely well knowledgeable, and they know how to communicate the topic and the subject with good clarity. They have also gone through multiple layers of training, experience, and certified professionals. So you won't find a non-CMA or a non-CPA teaching you the course. Regular feedbacks are taken to reflect faculty performance. Regular in the sense every session the student give feedback about session 1, session 2 for that day, and that feedback is to the best of my knowledge, students have given a very good rating to the faculty, and that's why EduPristine keeps growing by leaps and bounds, and also providing quality finance education. Exam centers over here, as far as Prometric is concerned, across India now, they are almost close to whichever location that you are based out of. Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, New Delhi, Trivandrum. So all these places, the Prometric centers are available. So you have to find which is the most appropriate, convenient to reach Prometric center, and you schedule your exam with that Prometric center. So learn with the best, don't take any chances. Go with the best, do not compromise on quality. Okay. So finance option is available on coaching fees having tenure 6, 9, 12 months EMI. Current offer, there is 0% rate of interest for students who want to go for EduPristine courses. And on CMA, there is a 0% rate of interest. Plus, you might also get EMI tenure also, so that you can pay money for your education as you go along. So please read the IMA handbook carefully. That is a must. It's a handbook about the entire CMA course, which is available on the IMA website. Fees once paid shall not be refunded or transferred on the circumstance. And this is just for your knowledge, your information. And take a look at it. About EduPristine, again, EduPristine is a member of Adtalem Global Education, a global education provider headquartered in the United States. Adtalem is a $3 billion, 20,000 crore rupees company having 9 institutions and companies with 16,000 employees spread across 145 locations. So we are also in the business for a very long time, and education business only. Training students, creating great workforce, or creating terrific professionals is what we have been doing for last several years, and we are very proud of that. So at Telem takes pride in training 142,000 degree seeking students all over the world. EduPristine is India's leading training provider in accounting, finance, marketing, and analysis. Founded in 2008 in India, EduPristine has a strong online and classroom platform. 60,000 plus students, 6 cities in India, 600 plus industry professionals, and soft skill training and job assessment. These are the highlights or the hallmark of what we do at EduPristine. So visit us anytime between Monday to Sunday, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Regarding any of your needs or any of your requirements, and we will be very happy to assist you. We have centers in Mumbai, New Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune. And as I mentioned earlier, 2 centers are live now, Chennai and Bombay or Bangalore. I'm not very sure. Chennai and I think Bangalore are live now, where you can visit the centers and take guidance from there. All right, guys, thank you very much. If you have, I think we have very less power students today. But if you have any questions, Kriti, Sahil, just feel free to ask those questions. And we will. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just post those questions on the Q&A and I will be happy to answer the questions. So as I mentioned, this is the pinnacle of the profession. Make sure that this will accelerate your career multiple times, and this will take you in a very different trajectory or a different orbit, career-wise also, financially also, and in life also. I think it has benefited me and many other students, many other colleagues of mine who did CMA have immensely benefited. Because of this professional qualifications, we were able to travel across the globe. We were able to, we had the liberty to do whatever we wanted to, the way we wanted to direct our career. I think it will give you the liberty of deciding your career path, and that's why it is extremely powerful qualification, which will give you that control in your hand. And I think that's what free will and a great ability to give your career a very different direction as well as trajectory, I think. And yeah, the respect that students, CMAs get is also very high across the globe. So I generally am most with from finance. Anybody who asks me which course would I recommend, I generally recommend them CMA course. And many students have benefited and they are doing extremely well in their life and career. So anyways, wish you all the best. Thank you so much for being patient and listening to me. Let's catch up and wish you all the best. If you need any assistance, here are the contact number and the WhatsApp number as well as the email where you can get in touch with us for any of your queries, and we'll be happy to answer your queries. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much. I'm just stopping the sharing as well as ending the meeting. Thank you.